Hello everybody and welcome back to Cooking and Kids. In today's episode, I'm taking you to beautiful Turkey. We are meeting up with some friends to learn Turkish ways of eating healthy and spending time together. We'll be learning new recipes and we'll be bringing them home to see if we could recreate similar dishes here in States. As soon as I return home, I'm going to put my new lessons to practice and show you and your kids how to create more nutritious and homemade snacks. Our travel starts in Los Angeles, California, from where we are heading to Turkey, Istanbul. It was exciting to say goodnight to stunning California's sunsets, just to welcome next morning in Istanbul. Upon arrival to Istanbul, we are quickly switching a plane and heading south to a city of Bodrum. This was a long, sleepless flight for me, but waking up the next morning made it all worth the while. Waking up in Bodrum felt like waking up in a paradise. My two hostesses made sure that the first thing we did that morning was to go and have a traditional Turkish breakfast, and to do it right next to the beautiful beach. I couldn't wait to kick my shoes off and jump into these silky crystal waters. Bodrum is one of the main tourist attractions, not just in Turkey, but in Europe in general. More than any other Turkish seaside getaway, Bodrum has surrounded itself with gleaming elegance. From glittering coast to its flower-filled cafes and white plastered back streets, Bodrum is one of the Europe's and Asia's most welcoming tourist destinations. Turkey is a very welcoming country and hospitality is such a priority around here. Playing in the water and in the sun can sure work up an appetite. Luckily, fresh homemade food is everywhere. After a day of rest on a beautiful beach, my hostesses are taking me to a special dining experience. You could just feel that after evening prayers, everybody was coming out to dine. This is a quite unusual way to start with the dinner. We're going in to choose our own appetizers, and so they're going to be on display. There's no menu apparently, right? So let's go see what they have. Exquisite and elaborate is what comes to mind when I think about Turkish appetizers. Especially if you're a seafood lover like I am. This will be my first dining experience in Bodrum, as well as my first time trying their traditional anise-flavored drink. After a delicious dinner, adults are invited to continue with the fun evening in one of the local cafes. Or to end the evening on a quieter note in one of many coastal hideaways. If you're a tourist, opportunities for fun are endless, but I'm here on a different mission. We are heading off to farmers market, where I hope to get true Turkish flavors. On the way to market, it was easy to notice that every home grew some kind of food. Every spot and every pot was growing something. From the rooftops to the sides of the houses to even cracks in the streets, something was growing in there, just like this fig tree. If you visit Turkey, you're gonna see a lot of beautiful tourist places. Coast is phenomenal, sea is beautiful, but what really makes it so charming are places like these. So being a foodie, this is like a little heaven. You come here, everything's so fresh. The fruit and vegetables, the whole place smells phenomenal. And the size of these vegetables and the colors, it's just something, it's like a dream. It's like a beautiful story. Everything is extra big and extra beautiful. The people who produce it, they're I think that's why they're so good, because they're all smiley and all happy. That's why everything looks so good. Thank you. We were hunting for some wild strawberries. And we saw them earlier when we were walking through the market, and we're going to go back and see if we can find them again. And look at the size of these peppers. And also, the very cool thing is that you see kids in the markets. So these are their kids with parents learning how to pick right produce, learning what's ripe and what is good to pick. So I love seeing this, and I would love to see more of American kids joining their parents and their grandparents to markets like these. Although I recognize most of the fruits and vegetables here, there are some that I have never seen before. So this particular one, I'm not quite sure what this is. All right, thank you very much. Okay, so first time in my life. Let's see what this fruit. Just bite? It's just bite? Yeah? Very good. One melon is open and the whole market smells like a sweet watermelon. There was just no way of passing by without trying it. Oh my God. Nasıl?
Size bakın da tadını söyleyin.
Tamam. So good. Okay, I'm gonna try a different one. Places like this are places where my soul belongs. Even better. If I could, I would have taken the whole truckload of them, because this turned out to be my absolute favorite food in Turkey. Everywhere you look, there was such an abundance of beautiful fruits and vegetables. Just like their produce, people who grew them were beautiful too. How you say pretty in Turkish?
Çok güzel diyorum.
Oh, the herbs. Look at the herbs. Climate in Turkey is particularly favorable to olives and grapes, and there were abundance of them. Suddenly, in the midst of all these beautiful fruits and vegetables, something else caught my eyes. Turkey is world known for its filo dough, but this particular dough was a little bit thicker, and I was curious to find out what kind of pastries they were making out of it. Luckily for us, on a very next table, there was a lady who was demonstrating how this pastry is made. Apparently, this dough is perfect for all sorts of savory and sweet dishes. This particular one is made with cheese. After stuffing, the pastry is set to roast on this flat iron grill. Evidently, this lady is very skillful with dough, because her desk contained all sorts of homemade pastries and homemade pastas. I loved it. Everything that was served here was homemade, and there was no fast food anywhere in sight. I'm known to overshop when I go to farmers market, because I feel this is a good investment of my money. But this time, I could barely carry everything that we picked up. And when we thought this is all we can carry, we finally found our wild strawberries. This was such a fun day for me. These fruits and vegetables all looked like they were growing in some enchanted gardens. I wish every neighborhood in the world would have a farmer's market like this one. Good things are meant to be shared, so we are on a way to meet old and make new friends. I was very thankful to be invited to visit this gorgeous estate where old and new way of life coexist side by side. This property had everything it needed, from their own chickens to olive trees to all sorts of fruits and vegetables and gorgeous flowers. It was all there. Nature was obviously very giving and people were hardworking. Our plans were to make a quick stop and to say hello, perhaps to have a cup of coffee. But that did not quite work out that way. I should have known. As soon as we sat down, the food started to come out, and before you know it, we were making ourselves comfortable. Clearly, everybody was welcome here and it was really well taken care of. We're from a market. We were just saying, okay, let's stop by for a cup of coffee. And my friend said, I have a friend. Let's just stop by and say hello. And this is Turkish hello. It's still morning. And this is how people receive you. There is a feast, basically, of all the fresh ingredients. Even the roosters are saying welcome. The beautiful ingredients, all homemade and all locally grown food. So basically, one of the reasons we're doing this episode in Turkey is to communicate and present this way of life to all of you who are watching us right now, and to figure out the way how we too could balance the modern and the old world in one life. And Turkish people obviously have mastered that. So here we are in this beautiful villa. There are roosters out there right next to the pool, and beautiful orchards, gardens, all kinds of fruits, and obviously most beautiful food. And so thank you very much to our host. I appreciate it. This is just such a treat. And I wish for all of you American viewers that your homes do the same things for their guests, and that we all open up our homes with such a delight and such a giving. How amazing would that be? It was time to go back home and to put some of my new lessons to use. So I'm back in States, and I wanted to see if I can create those same dishes that we saw on farmer's market in Turkey. So I'm going to do 3 different versions. One will be with meat, one with cheese and vegetables, and one will be a dessert, and we're going to do it with pumpkin. For the beef version, I'm going to start with pre-cooking 2 medium onions. We are also using 3 pounds of lean ground beef. Okay, we're going to pre-cook meat entirely. Salt and pepper are your only spices, although you might want to decide to add a little bit of garlic powder as well. It's thoroughly cooked, and as you can see, it has released some fat and juices, which we want to keep in the meat, because this will help make that our dish a little bit more juicy. So let's just turn the fire off and let the meat cool off for a little bit. Second one is with cheese. So I'm going to go with about, what do we got here? 24 ounces of 4% fat cottage cheese. In addition to cottage cheese, I'm also adding some of this delicious feta cheese. Feta cheese is actually a key ingredient here, because it will bring that extra flavor, and it's also bringing extra salt. So this is a good Bulgarian feta, and it's kept in brine. So it's super, super fresh. And I'm gonna add about an equal amount of feta. So we have probably about 3 cups of each. So 4 eggs, and we're gonna blend it all in. We're not adding any more salt because feta is very salty. Let's add some fresh greens, and I'm going with the baby spinach and baby kale. I baked this beautiful squash yesterday. It's very nice density. It's sweet, very fragrant. So I'm just gonna peel it, cut it into little pieces, and then we'll add other spices. And this will be our dessert today. Clean it, peel it, and chop it into small pieces like these. There's about 3 cups of pre-cooked pumpkin. I'll go with a cup of walnuts. I would suggest to chop walnuts in smaller pieces. And I'm gonna add about half a cup of brown sugar. I'm purposely not adding a lot of sugar because pumpkin is already sweet. So we're gonna keep it on the less sweet side. I'm gonna add some cinnamon. And I love nutmeg in desserts like this. And this was just adding a little bit, a little bit of nutmeg, some vanilla. And I'm also gonna add a little bit of olive oil. And of course, we can't forget some lemon zest and lemon juice. Let's mix it all well together and set it aside to rest. It's Sunday today, and we are going to do this right. These beautiful flowers were everywhere in Turkey, so today I'm bringing them to the table as our centerpiece. I like them very much, and I'm very glad that they are growing in California just as well as they do in Turkey. I'm also bringing out the only souvenir I bought in Turkey, this beautiful hand-painted plate. To add to the feel, I'm also including some halva. Our dishes today are accompanied with lighter alternatives like a homegrown grapefruit, fresh berries, some mineral water, and orange juice. The mood is certainly set. The music is on, and we are having a gorgeous weather outside, so all that's left to do is to see how this dish turns out. All right, we're ready to start. Okay, so we don't have the perfect dough for these pastries, but I did find a little bit thicker pastry dough. This is a phyllo. It's a number 4. And this was bought in one of the Middle Eastern stores. The regular phyllo dough in the store would work as well, but these happen to be just a little bit thicker. And once you get them out, you really have to work fast because they're going to dry out. So while our cooking top is getting hot, I'm just going to go and try to roll the first one. About 4 sheets down. And as you can see, this is a lot smaller. Okay, then we're gonna stuff it. Let's start with the meat ones. So when we're done with these, they are gonna be basically an individual size versus the ones that we saw on the market, where they would be almost big enough for the whole family. A bit more oil. Having the right dough makes all the difference, but we're just going to go with what we got. All right. And then just fold it. We can create like a little pockets. And then we're gonna get it to roast. Let's see how this comes out. All right, a little bit of oil. And here goes the first one. I'm also gonna add just a touch of oil on top. It looks like we are on to something. So roast them on a grill, or you can even do this in a pan until they are crisp and golden brown. Let's see what we got here. The meat inside looks absolutely wonderful, and as you can see, there's a lot more meat than a dough, which is actually how I prefer it. Now that I know that these were success, I'm gonna get back and finish the rest. When you work with the filo dough, you have to work super fast because, as you can see, the filo dough is drying. And so we're gonna go with the 4 sheets, a little bit of oil. Oh, excuse me. And then we're just gonna improvise because obviously the dough that we had on farmer's market in Turkey, which was much thicker and it was a lot more flexible. So this is what we're gonna do. Just fold the corners. Just kind of make it like an envelope. I'll just fold it again. So this way we have a little pockets and a little bit of oil on the grill. And here we go. We're gonna have these nice little individual portions. It's cooking nicely. I don't want it to cook too fast. I think this was simple enough. So the biggest struggle in making these was keeping the filo dough from drying out. But ultimately, even if the filo dough is not absolutely flexible, you can still work around it. And once you set it on a grill, it will not matter a whole lot anyway. This one is our sweet version, so this will be a special pumpkin pocket. As I suggested earlier, make sure that your fire is high enough, but not too high, where they would cook too fast, because the key here is to make sure that the inside of the pockets is well cooked. Depending on the fire, this should be done in about 8 to 10 minutes. For me personally, these dishes are best served with a cold glass of a liquid yogurt or a kefir. So overall, the comments are good. Kids liked it. What do I think about it? I think you can mess with masters. So first of all, we don't have the perfect dough. Obviously, the ingredients that we have here are not as good as the ingredients we had in the turkey. And on the top of that, my little gadget here does not quite compare to what they had there. But the concept is similar. And if you don't have a gadget like this, you can easily make these in a frying pan. So with us working with the filo dough, our filo dough is so thin and it's airy and very breezy out here, so it was drying a little bit too quickly. But if you do this indoors, you will have a lot more luck and it will be much easier to manage the filo dough. But in any case, as you can see, this is looking good. We made some with meat. Kids already tried it, they liked it. There's some ones with cheese and with pumpkin coming up, and I think they're actually a lot better than Hot Pockets. A pastry like this is great served the next day as a snack, or it can easily be packed for the school lunch. The cheese ones seem to be everybody's favorite. There are 2 more cheese pockets. I'm very anxious to see how the cheese ones turned out. It looks perfect and it was delicious. lots of cheese wrapped in a flaky dough. You can't go wrong with a dish like this. And everybody agreed that these were the best. Let's not forget our dessert. These pastries stuffed with the sweet squash, brown sugar, cinnamon, and touch of nutmeg were absolutely delicious. That will be all for today. Thank you all for watching, and until the next time, the next recipe, and our next traveling adventure, please take good care of yourself and those around you. Cheers. Thank you so much for watching our program and for joining us on our travels. Our program, Cooking and Kids, is produced by a charitable organization called VLADA'S Seeds of Life. My goal is to continue to bring you encouraging and positive stories from around the world. Future productions of Cooking and Kids depend on a generous donations from people like you. To find out more about our charity and how your tax-deductible contributions can help reconnect families and communities, please visit VLADA'S.com. I can't wait to share our next recipe and the next traveling adventure with you. Before we go, I want to extend a big thank you to our hostesses, Zelda and Denise. Thank you, ladies, for your hospitality and for hosting Cooking and Kids in Bodrum.